Creating a second act, transitions, and career change. Change is beyond our control. It happens whether or not we are prepared for it. Transitions, on the other hand, are situations that require us to reorient and redefine ourselves. An adaptive and flexible approach toward lifelong learning can guide us in intentionally adjusting to transitions with resilience, openness, and courage. The learning way allows us to manage transitions by continually learning from our own experiences, understanding our own unique style, and creating a learning-based strategy to transform ourselves while we are adapting to changing circumstances. William Bridges, the renowned expert on transitions, identified 3 phases in any transition: the end of one period, the neutral zone, and the new beginning. Lee experienced these 3 phases as he adapted to losing his job as a financial analyst through downsizing after a merger. He used the steps in the learning cycle to guide him through each phase. At the end of the first stage, the ending, he intentionally used the experiencing style to connect with his own feelings of vulnerability and fear as he processed the knowledge that his job would be eliminated. Lee's typical response would have been to withdraw and deal with the situation in a solitary fashion. Instead, he connected not only with his own values, but also with others in the same situation in the imagining style before making sense of the situation in the reflecting style. In the analyzing style, he created a plan to organize all the information he would need to consider before deciding what to do next. This plan allowed him to make some independent judgments about the financial implications of his situation in the thinking style. Lee used the deciding style to commit to saying goodbye to all the people in his department before his departure. In the acting style, he implemented his transition plan before using the initiating style to enter the next phase of his life with optimism. While in the neutral zone, Lee approached learning with a different emphasis. Because he had so much more life experience than when he had first chosen his career in finance, he knew that he would need to reconnect with his feelings and intuition. Initially, he focused more on being than doing. He spent time in quiet reflection to connect with his deepest desires and fears. He created a personal vision that included the values that guide him and his greatest hopes for the future. This took time alone and time in conversation with trusted advisors, family, and close friends. Also, he reflected on the parts of his life he would want to keep the same and those he would want to change. As he took his time, new ideas began to emerge. Lee recognized that he had entered his current career more out of a need for a stable income than for any innate interest. He had quelled his interest in the field of human resources that seemed too soft to ensure that he would always have a job. Lee discovered that he most enjoyed his career when he was coaching and mentoring new employees in his department. He realized that while he understood the principles of financial analysis, such as what made for a good investment, he did not know much about the process of coaching. As he investigated the field, he found that the specialty of retirement coaching was emerging in response to the number of baby boomers. Although this involved more than simply looking at finances, Lee was drawn to the field for its holistic approach. As he moved toward action, Lee became discouraged as he looked at his strengths, weaknesses, education, and experience. He compared his current reality to what he would need to tackle this new interest. Lee decided that he could not make the career transition immediately or in one step. It was too risky since he needed to pay his mortgage and college tuition for his daughter. He did, however, commit to a timetable that would allow him to measure his progress against his goal. Within 18 months, he would complete his retirement coaching program and log enough hours to achieve his certification before launching his own business. As Lee implemented his plan, he found that he approached life with new purpose